Welcome to TAWK Therapy with Carter and
Sharity.
today's going to be Smothered Season 2, Episode 1.
Yay! Although not the same, but I think these shows have a special place in my heart. Smothered could be, I could have a reality TV show about me and my mom and our relationship.
You're smothered? You've been smothered?
I have been smothered.
I don't know. I mean, you could probably attest to whether I have or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a very good judge, but we'll get to see some interesting relationships on the show. They're beyond anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about our relationships now or after the show? And
with our parents?
Yeah, because I do think you have a little bit of smothered. Maybe not the same as the show, but I think you have a little bit of smothered.
I think we should watch, and as the things come up to make us think of it, we talk about it.
Yeah, I guess for our listeners, that'll probably help them, because I think when you watch the show, and when I first start watching the show, all of a sudden I start having, I guess, PTSD flashbacks, and so maybe our audience it'll be the same. You'll start watching it with us, and then you can start sending us some messages on some of the things that you saw, that you're familiar with, and then hopefully you can talk us through some of the
help us pull through.
Well, really, the psychology behind some of the craziness.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about some of the themes, some of the stuff that comes up's definitely going to be interesting, and we won't let any spoilers out yet about our background. We can wait and let them come out as the show pulls them out of us. But
or maybe our audience will figure out our trauma just by what we're saying.
You guys can diagnose us. We're gonna just start it right now, and you'll be able to hear it in the background. And we'll just kind of pause as we go and comment on it. And if you guys want to follow along, like I said, Season 2, Episode 1, Smothered, on TLC.
I've been taking showers with Brittany since she was 5.
In the mornings, walk in her room and I just look her up, my puppy.
I can look out my window and see right into her dining room. That's right.
I have saved all of Sarah's baby teeth. They smell so beautiful.
We get to be triplets now.
What's wrong with that?
Matching, do you do that all the time?
We do try. Now that the baby's born, I plan to stay in New York as long as I can.
Frank always gets in the middle of everything between my mom and I.
We kind of wanted you to move out.
Not we. You.
I think he should be the one moving out, not me.
Date nights for Sarah and Miguel is really date nights for the three of us. Why should I be left out?
You know
Right?
she's part of the package.
Where's my attention?
Does she get to come home later? See? I think she does. I think she comes home afterwards.
I just love how they start normal and you could relate to the I love yous.
All my kissy poos, and I kiss her all up.
Yeah?
And now it's just getting more extreme,
Pretty relatable.
You guys should move into my house for the remodeling. No.
now that's something my mom would say.
Tire down.
You know,
We're on a
she
date.
needs to be a part of
I
things.
knew you two were close, but I find it a little odd how close you guys actually are.
It's not going to change.
To put up with
Call him
her
out.
on a daily basis, you have a lot more patience than I do.
It's all over now, okay?
Let him tell you the story. He's the one that did it. If Brittany knew what he did to me, she
What did he do? Look at her. She's ready to roll.
Just three of us. I feel caught in the middle here.
Why are you so nervous about driving?
I feel pushed.
Stop! Stop!
I don't want to share Angelica with anyone.
Bear with us too. This is a busy night. We got food coming in. We got a lot going on. So it's exciting. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, so that was a nice little preview.
It's pretty exciting.
I don't know. I like how they kind of just had to kind of tell you what you were in store for. Most TV shows, when they come on, you don't really get the full what is this about? But I guess it is season 2.
They give you a pretty good sampler.
Yeah.
We've met some of them, I think, but
Yeah.
not everyone.
I still think the wildest clip of what the season, what's in store for the season, and what we just saw was the shower scene.
Yeah, that's not. I've never done that. I don't know. I don't know about you. I don't want to judge it this early on, but I've never done that. I've never personally heard of anyone that's done that.
That's how you always are. You never want to judge from the beginning. I am judgy, judge.
Yeah.
But before we get started,
I mean, two consenting adults. They're both, adult, mature. But I don't know how long this has been going on. I assume she's been consenting since her mom could consent for her, in which case her mom was then probably also consenting for the group baths. Thoughts?
Well, I feel like her mom, I guess her mom has always probably exercised her right to consent, but I don't think she could really give informed consent until she was at the legal age of 18,
mom?
Right?
Or the daughter?
The daughter.
I know, but when the daughter was younger than 18, the mom would be giving consent, and she'd be fine with it.
Wouldn't that just be child abuse at that point then?
I mean, who's to say? Isn't the mom the one that probably knows what's best for her daughter?
Oh, yeah, I think that's probably good.
Maybe they're not fit. Let's see.
Before we get started,
it's early on. We don't
I have to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm. Smothered might suggest that it's not healthy.
You're saying that's not something I've ever done. I don't know about you, but would the equivalent for you be your father and you in the shower scene? Would that be the equivalent of what we just saw? Because it would be really weird if you and your mom.
I mean, Smothered would be the new season that we'd have to see. I wonder how. I feel like you'd have a lot less people on season 1. You might have like one Smothered family that you could locate, where the father and the son have both acknowledged that this goes on to the public.
Yeah, it'd probably be way more creepy to see dad.
It's not as normalized. I don't know if it's creepier. It's just a lot less normalized. This seems like it's more normalized. As abnormal as it seems, it's probably more normal than Smothered.
Why? Because in our society, mothers are supposed to be the nurturing one. Is that why it's more normalized? What do you mean? Like
that mothers and daughters or mothers and children traditionally have closer relationships than fathers and sons, or fathers and children.
Where do you think that comes from? What do you think the evolution with that is? Why has it been that way?
I mean, women.
Other than sexism and
have evolved to communicate more. That's one of the things that they really needed to be adapted to be able to do, is communicate and share resources and information, around the tribe and around the community. And the men weren't communicating as much as they were cooperating.
Right.
You know what I mean? And women cooperated a whole lot, but because the men, and we're talking way back. How far are we going back? A couple million?
Whoa, okay.
Maybe 1 million? 0.2 million?
Is that BC?
We got to reference the charts.
Before Carter?
Right? Yeah. Plus 2,000. But, the men were specialized to travel and to, exercise more. They would be the ones that were running and hunting when we were running down our prey and stuff like that. So we wouldn't be communicating as much. But right. I think that's kind of where that comes from and why that's more normalized.
So women just naturally evolved to be the nurturing one, the caregiver.
Better communicators, too.
Better communicators.
Yeah.
And these people have taken it too far.
I mean, I think you have to go through the checklist if you're going to diagnose someone with anything or say that it's child abuse. And you got to check their social functioning and everything that you would need to check.
Right.
And we'll get to some of that as we go through the season. We're going to kind of take a clinical look at some of these families to see, is this cool or no? And we'll go
Is that what we're evolved to do or no?
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is the type of close bonding, nurturing relationship that
all of us should strive to have.
All women evolved to need and want and
give.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look.
Let's check it out. Let's keep growing. Get to see what she's up to.
Good morning, beautiful. Did you sleep good?
I might need a coffee.
You want a sip of mine? I'm Mary. I'm 55 years old, and this is my daughter, Brittany.
I'm Brittany. I'm 19 years old, and I live in Jensen Beach.
Double
with
intro.
my mom. Can you help me with Mayor?
This is Brittany.
You
I'm
got it.
Brittany.
Brittany and we've always lived together.
Had her when she was
And plus,
36.
I'm only 19. I haven't moved away. If that was the case, she would probably die from separation anxiety.
Ha ha! You know? I bet that's not the first
Oh
time
no,
you told
here it
that
is,
joke.
here it is, here it is. This is how they got us in on the season.
Moving over. Sorry, I mean there's some
The best way to
gratuitous
start our day
shower
is
scenes
in the
for
shower.
TLC. This is the Learning Channel.
Oh my god. It's not just showering, it's touching and cleaning.
I know I'm bad about getting my whole back, so I think this is something I would benefit from. Sometimes I can't scrub my whole back. Can you reach your whole back by yourself?
No, but that's
Comforted.
just the sacrifice of, you know, showering alone in a healthy manner, I guess.
It's not like they've invented technology to allow you to solve that problem or anything yet, right? Like a loop on a stick or something like that. I guess until they invented that, you just had to use your
Hey.
mom.
And helping Brittany since she was 5.
Can you pause right there? I gotta
Well
ask you a
before the
question.
age of consent. We were wondering about that earlier.
So some of these
We're
things,
getting a lot of freeze frames on her.
yeah. So some of these things are maybe a little bit normal because, well, I was about to talk about her freeze frame. She's proud mama.
Yeah, she would love to get a picture of this frame probably after all that work.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But so they're in the shower together, and I was just gonna ask, do you ever recall when you were younger, ever seeing like your parents come out the shower? Because at some point, I feel like that's normal just because of supervision. Like where are your parents gonna put you when you're a little, little baby or a little toddler or a little kid.
And you always wonder what's the age where they're too old to be bathing around you and stuff like that. For efficiency, I'm sure at a young age, you just like scrub them off while you're in the shower.
Right.
Throw in a bathing suit or something like that.
Right. Like that's healthy. But
Yeah.
then, like, what age is too old?
She said 5, right?
No, she said they've been doing it since she was 5. Like, I figured she would have started before 5, but doing it.
No, I think she waited for her to get mature enough to really enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I think the last time, because I actually can recall it, but I think the last time I saw my mother, like, naked or part of I don't know if I've ever seen her fully naked, but I remember kind of seeing parts when I'd be in the bathroom or something with her when I was little, and I probably had to be about 5 or 6.
I think that's about the same age for me. I don't know. But I think that's, from everything I always heard, as soon as you're old enough to ask questions, that's probably about the age you can start showering or bathing or whatever on your own.
Right.
And I think it's odd, like you commented, that she started at 5.
Right. Like, awareness age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take another look.
I don't believe I set out to have a relationship this close to Brittany. It's something that was supposed to be.
Speak to me.
They look so much alike. It's kind of scary.
It's kind of like a spiritual connection.
I mean, I think all mother-child relationships are kind of spiritual because you were of one body at one point.
I mean, not all mothers, all mothers feel that connection.
But I mean,
but ideally, you would think, right, or maybe on average.
Yeah.
Has over 200 crowns and trophies.
Oh wow, she was
Ding, 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 ding.
pageant queen.
So we have to go down that road because
see.
I think that's a different relationship, right? That automatically is a different kind of relationship you're going to have with your daughter when you're entering her to be
A pageant queen?
yeah, a pageant queen, to be goo goo and gaga over and to be like She's not old enough to want to do that, so it's something you're wanting her to do. So there's something that you want to get out of that relationship that's more than just a mother-daughter relationship from the very beginning.
I mean, you don't think that that little girl was signing herself up?
So, like...
I wonder if her mom is someone who grew up doing pageants. Or she wasn't allowed to, maybe.
It's not the same, but here in Oklahoma, like cheerleading...
Like a sports dad or something like that, living vicariously through their kid.
Exactly. So that's what I was going to say. Like, here in our great state...
Oklahoma. Say proud.
Cheerleading, dancing, and all of that is really big. And we're big, football state. But, like, the cheerleading, the dancing was really big. And, I mean, my mom was a cheer mom. And after kind of just being around that crowd... you kind of notice some of the moms who have had their kids in it since they were, 3 years old, being Raw girls. You kind of see they have more of a stake in it than the kids. And sometimes you even question who loves it more and who really actually wants to be out there, right?
Yeah.
Cheering. And same thing here.
Honey Boo Boo. Wasn't there a Dance Mom show?
Oh, yeah, that was Dance Moms.
That?
And I think it actually was on this network
TLC?
as well. I don't know if it was
Wow.
TLC or WeTV, but I definitely watched that.
They
with
produced
Abby.
good content.
Abby that was the dance instructor. And
Yeah.
she was awesome. She had some winning teams. She was awesome. I think she kind of had somewhat of a meltdown or at least some drama after making it famous and making it big because of the TV show. But before that team was known as champions. But the show was the show because of the moms and the drama that the moms bring. Probably like this show.
It stopped only because of her health issues.
Oh, she had health issues?
One day I was in the bathroom getting her
Looks
ready
like
for a
Jean Benet.
shower and noticed
Jean
that
Benet.
she started getting hair all
Probably
over
shouldn't
her
say
body,
that. That was a sad
under
story.
Her chin,
Hair.
under her arms, getting pubic hair. Her breasts were developing.
Oh,
I
man.
was astonished. Brittany has a condition
That's
called
scary.
There's no way she won
adrenal
any
hyperplasia.
contest
It's
after
a
that.
missing gene, and what happens when they hit a certain age, 4 or 5 years old, they start full-blown puberty. It's
How hard do you think it was
15,000.
for her mom? I mean, super rare, very sad. How hard do you think it was for her mom that her daughter was definitely not going to win any of these contests?
I don't know. I mean, she could have actually. I
Not
feel
that
like
she cares about her image or anything, but
Well, I do feel like sometimes, I mean, I don't know. I've never had the personal experience or been in a pageant, so I'm just kind of, speaking off the cuff here.
No, yeah.
But I think those pageants actually do like girls who look a little mature.
Yeah, you think
And that's why they dress them up kind of like dolls. So I think she could have had an advantage.
What's the tall Kardashian's name? Or Jenner? Or yeah, Kardashian. What's the tall one?
You never watched that show, Chloe.
Chloe, the one that's built kind of like her back in the day.
Chloe was always way cuter than
I don't
that.
think that is that the tall one?
Yeah, that's the tall
one
one.
that dated Lamar?
Yes.
I don't think that she was winning any beauty contests back in the day. They didn't like girls that were built like that. That's all I'm saying.
No, I understand that. I think it had to be really, just to kind of go back with what we talked about earlier and to kind of come to the moms, maybe perhaps her thinking or logic or try to give some reason behind this. She said that congenial or whatever the genetic disorder is occurred when, or at least it displayed itself when she was about 5 or 6. That's also around the same time she starts showering with her. So I'm wondering if she starts showering, first out of concern and just wanting to see what's going on, what's happening with the body, and trying to normalize some of that.
Could be that. Could be her early shower, her early sexual exposure started her into puberty a little early.
So can that happen? Like, is that like, so when kids are exposed to maybe things like whether, I mean, I don't know how far it can go if it's a movie or something, but if kids are exposed to certain like sexual stimulation, can that cause early onset puberty? Is that a possibility? Yeah, I mean, I don't. That's a really good question. I like how I decide that my questions are good questions.
It is a good question.
Will get this disorder.
I went through so much change in so little time. My bone age progressed when I was 5, and I had a body size as an 11-year-old, and it was pretty scary because I didn't know what was happening. I felt like, why me?
Do you?
I just wished that I was born more normal.
Did it not record us?
I would be made fun of
It's recording right now.
because
It's been
I
recording.
always stood out. I was always the bigger girl. My mom was my best friend and my only friend because she knew what I was going through. I am in school for the police academy, just around the corner. I'm graduating.
We're gonna do some pat downs and stuff like that, you know?
My mom is throwing a party for my graduation. I'm very excited.
I thought you said something yesterday about maybe you're going to be going to the jail.
Yeah, that's involved too.
After I graduate, I'm not moving out because I don't have enough time with my mom. 24 hours is not long enough.
Do people ever tell you that your relationship is a little bit weird?
Frank who says it's weird sometimes because we're always together.
I met Frank at church. We became best friends. Then it developed into a relationship.
I think Frank is the only one that has an issue with us for being so close. I think that's jealousy.
When my mom got married with him, I didn't go to the wedding.
Brittany really has an issue with Frank. She doesn't even want him in the house. Can you come pick me up from the tailor shop later?
I guess so. I just don't want to see Frank.
Frank comes in between our relationship a lot because I feel like he's always like, hey, how about me? This man wants to take away my best friend now? I don't think so.
I know you don't care for him. I don't want us to argue about it. You know, I want you to be here with me. I need you here.
I know. I need you too. That's why I'm here. I need you more than anything else.
I don't want you to get upset, okay? I'm always in the middle.
We've argued, me and Frank, several times about how he wants me to move out, but I think he should be the one moving out, not me, because he hurt my mom, and if you hurt my mom, you hurt me.
Can you push pause right there?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when you introduce some type of sexual, I don't know the best way to say this, but when the relationship turns into like a sexual relationship where there's anything like that, you start to have other emotions that come with it. And Brittany doesn't actually seem to be, like, doesn't dislike Frank. She just seems to actually be jealous of Frank.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of jealousy going on. I think Frank really brought some stuff out of Brittany. I mean, we can't really tell what's going on yet, but there's some type of history going on that caused Brittany to not trust Frank anymore, and Mary didn't trust Frank anymore either.
So is Brittany like so she's in cop training right now?
I don't know. I think
they said she was in cop training.
Cop training?
Well, what do you call it? What do you call it when people go to school?
Maybe she's in the police academy or something.
Academy, yeah, the police academy. I thought she was in high school though. Maybe it's like some type of.
That's what the movie's called. Maybe it's like
cadet training
ROTC
or something.
Yeah,
maybe it's like an ROTC. Well,
I don't remember anything like that in high school. You sure she's in high school? She seems like I guess she is mature for her age.
I thought they told her age. Wasn't she 18 or 19, 17?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, I was just going to say, hold on. I was just going to say, so let's just say she wants to be, like, let's just say she's in cadet school and and that's where, that's what she wants to do in her career. What do you think she would do if she, like, had to report to a home where there was, like, an underage girl showering with her mom? I guess she would just walk in and think that was
Nothing
normal. Nothing to see here. No report to write.
What's the crime going on? And the daughter's over there with wide eyes, just like nodding over to her mom. She's like, yeah, you got a caring mom. We see that. We all see that.
Did your mom scrub your back this morning? That would be a crime if she didn't do that.
You need to stop prank calling the police, young lady. You're wasting public resources.
Pictures today?
Yes.
If you want a second opinion, I've set up for you.
Okay.
He's being a good boy.
His tongue sticking out.
I'm Angelica, and I'm 32 years old.
Okay.
My mom and I are really close.
Are you ready to get in? I'll be right there.
Oh,
I've
another
been sharing bathwater with my mom since I was a very
bathing
little girl,
scene.
and it's just been something that we've always
It's a
done.
common theme. Sharing bathwater.
Okay,
This is
that
a new
we have to
level.
pause again
What?
because that's different from Brittany and
this?
Mary. What do you think of that? Like,
So what was the daughter's name? This is Sunhee. Let's see. I'm gonna take that back.
Angelica
and Sunhee. I'm gonna have to start
Angelica.
pausing it on the name and age part.
Angelica. So, do you think this is the same, better, or worse? So we saw Mary and Brittany in a shared shower scene, and you know they're in the shower together, bathing at the same time. And now, before we even really get to even hear from them, the first thing we see is Angelica with her mother, Sunhee, and they share bathwater, so they're not in there at the same time. But Angelica,
That'd be weird to be in there at the same time.
it'll be like a hot tub, right? I think a bath may be better than a.
I think it'd be like a hot tub at a nudist colony. Is what it'd be like.
Well, okay, hold on. So do
I
you
don't
think?
think they're in bathing suits in there.
So do you think showering together or bathing together is worse?
I don't think we should judge. I think the sharing bathwater is the less sanitary of the two. I think it's a lot dirtier to use your mom's dirty bathwater.
But isn't there like so? I mean, I know, but are there those places? I think they're more common up north. They don't. I haven't seen them here. But there's those public bathhouses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, there has been this idea of public bathing together for a long time, right? Like, you're the history buff here. Like, back in like the Roman or Greek times, isn't there public baths? Isn't that how the whole idea evolved?
There were. They definitely had a lot of disease outbreaks and stuff back then too. You know, I don't think it was the most sanitary process. Let me let this roll on for a second, okay?
Pictures today?
Yes.
If you want a second opinion, I've set up for you.
Okay.
He's being a good boy.
His tongue sticking out.
I'm Angelica, and I'm 32 years old. My mom and I are really close.
Are you ready to get in? I'll be right there.
I've been sharing bathwater with my mom since I was a very little girl, and it's just been something that we've always done.
I want to stop there every time.
My name
I'm so
is Sunhee, and I am Angelica's
shocked.
mother. I raised Angelica all by myself. We have always lived together. She helps me get dressed, and she takes care of
Her
me.
mom's really pretty.
Is that good?
She almost looks like her sister.
I mean, she gets a lot of care.
Not looking into her beautiful face.
A lot of
every single
pampering.
morning. If I could find a man that was like you, I'd
I think
bury
any
him in
woman
a heartbeat.
could look beautiful if they had
And
a
you would marry someone that was like me.
personal assistant.
That'd be
Can you
like
push pause?
paradise.
Yep.
Yeah, she just needs to marry someone like her mom.
My mom.
Okay,
I
so
think I understand what Sunhee's getting at.
so like I have a best friend, and we would always say like if I found a guy like you or whatever, I could marry them because we were both straight women,
Yeah.
and we knew like we got along so well that we wanted our partners to be like that. So I think I can understand what she's saying. I think it's a little weird to say to your daughter, but you know, like
So is this Angela or Angelica?
Angelica.
So you'd be kind of the Angelica in this scenario, right? And she would be the Sunhee if we're laying this out.
I mean, I think it's actually been shared maybe both ways technically.
Okay. So you're both kind of the Sunhee.
Yeah.
And
the only difference
Angelica
though
at
is
one
what
point
was
or another.
yeah, what was weird that Sunhee said was she said, I wish I could marry a man like you. I think it would be normal if she allowed Angelica to reciprocate. Instead, she didn't allow Angelica to speak and was like, and you got to marry someone like me. So that's where I think it's a little different. I like understand what she's saying because I think girls do that like with their girlfriends all the time. Like, I hope I find someone like my best friend because I can talk to her all night and kiki. And I could see Sunhee saying that to her daughter Angelica, but I think she took it too far when she didn't allow Angelica to reciprocate.
Yeah, I think her being the mother, it definitely makes it even more awkward that she's putting these ideas out there. And like, right?
Of who you need to marry.
I think the best thing for you would be for you to marry me. I mean, someone like me, right, daughter? Yes, mother. Let me fill you more bathwater.
Until I met Jason.
Brush your hair.
Oh, Jason. Jason coming in the picture. He does not look like Sunhee.
After dating Jason for 2 years, he wanted to take things to the next level.
What does that mean?
Would you accept my love?
Oh, that was season 1. Go back to season 1 to see.
This isn't right. He's still married. It's unacceptable.
Okay,
Oh,
push pause,
man.
push pause.
Jason and his wife have been separated for many years.
Okay.
But it's taking so long for him to get his proper divorce. He's
okay. So, sorry, I just had to slow it down because
So let's lay it out. So, kind of tell us what I think I heard was Jason's still married, but he proposed as a promise ring that it's not like a actual engagement ring, but it's a promise to divorce his wife. Right?
Wait,
or
they
did
didn't
he
say that.
Propose?
No one said actual divorce or anything. We probably have to listen more, but I thought the very first thing was, what type of guy dates a girl with a smother? Like, I mean, you have to be a certain type of guy to be willing to enter into a relationship like that, right? Like, in some ways, if you can imagine someone's going to be the third wheel if she already has such a close relationship with her mother.
I don't think most of the significant others of the smothered daughters know when they find the girl that this is the full setup. I think that they find that out a little later on.
Well, it's they were together
and
2
they're already
years.
in too deep. Well,
yeah,
I know,
like
but I
you
think
mean
that,
in too deep.
Yeah, like they hook up already, or he's already fallen for her or something like that, and then you find out that mom's a little intense.
I don't know, if they're a real smother, you'll know she has a smother by the first date. The mom's already gonna blow up the phone.
You'd think so. Okay, well, let's just say that the guy knows it from the get-go. Maybe they're okay with it, or they don't think it's as serious as it actually is, or
they have ulterior motives. Like, I'm kind of with Sunhee here. I mean, I want to let's finish with seeing what she says, because I kind of feel like, what kind of guy, I have a different reason than her, but what kind of guy is willing to enter into a relationship with a girl like this? And I feel like you have to have something going on like he does. Married, estranged wife, allegedly estranged wife anyways, right? And okay with dating Angelica with her taking baths with her mom. Like, he has to have something going on why that is okay, and why he's not even worried about that.
Yeah, he's not your normal guy.
Yeah,
Jason looks pretty intense. I don't know if you got a close look at him whenever he went by, but and if you're only listening, his eyes are bugging. And I don't know if he's just paranoid that he's about to get caught, which is kind of the vibe he's putting out. Like, he's like, I'm not really supposed to be here, but I think we're going to get this done today kind of vibe. And I don't think he's up to any good.
Well, let's keep
watching. His second spouse.
Let's keep watching, because other than the baths, Sunhee seems pretty normal.
Yeah, she seems great.
Girlfriend still keeps her things in his house. I don't know how
that's problematic.
That he could be in a committed relationship with my daughter.
Maybe he's just a procrastinator.
It's very disheartening that you're gonna let a guy come into our relationship.
She does not look happy.
I live to please my mom.
Were they in the same bed?
I really wish that
Maybe.
she could accept Jason, because I want all three of us to be together, because I really do miss her. I've been trying to do stuff
See.
with her, like getting our hair color together,
Third
but
wheel.
it just hasn't been the same between us. So I've been avoiding my mom for the past few weeks.
I love your ring.
Oh, thank you.
It is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I wonder who got it for you.
I've been spending a lot of time with Jason.
Better be you,
Jason
or
and
else
I.
she's up there with
I'm
some
able to
dude.
wear his
Hold on.
ring,
Hold
not
on. Push
feel guilty
pause.
about it.
That's a big ring. That was a really nice ring. But it was on her right hand.
I guess it'd work on you too if I was still married.
Okay, I would never mess with, close your legs to married men. That's what
Should've
Nene
picked
Leak
up a couple
says.
spouses before we met or something if you were that cool.
Well,
God.
no, so I would...
Gotta get a big enough ring.
No, I would never, I would follow Nene Leaks. I would never date a married man or anything like that. But I am a sucker for jewelry. You could probably get me to go on a couple dates if I get some jewelry.
I'm gonna put that down in my notes section here on the episode.
I could probably go on a couple dates, and I would tolerate you for a ring like that, especially because it's just on her right hand.
He's
Makes you think, what's the wedding ring gonna look, or the engagement ring gonna look like?
Isn't that what that was?
I don't know. I would ask for an engagement ring if I have to wear that one on my right hand. I mean, he's married.
I think that's what he did. I think he gave that to her. He's like, you can't put this on your left hand though, because I'm still married technically.
So this is a little digression. It's not quite smothered, but since we're talking about rings, if you were to date / marry someone who was already married, and it may be a girly question, so let me know if I'm just geeking. But if you were to date or / get married to someone who had been married previously, would you care what your ring looked like in comparison to the former spouse? So in other words, would you compare rings?
I mean, was it one that I'm assuming guy, that the proposing spouse had bought for that, or was it like a family heirloom?
No, the spouse bought that other ring specifically.
Yeah, because the person probably kept it then, which means you'd want to know.
Well, I don't think you can legally keep it, right? Like,
if you get divorced?
Well, if you get divorced, is it okay? So I think you can keep it if you get divorced,
it's like earnest money, so.
Right? But like, if it's an engagement, you actually have to give the ring back under contract law because you didn't follow through with the promise.
Oh, if you break off the engagement before the marriage.
Right, like if you broke off the engagement for the marriage.
I can see that being fair.
I think
whenever you hand someone a ring, I don't think there's any paperwork or anything that comes with it to say that. I know there's a social contract. We should look into it.
It's consideration.
We can pull it for next episode. We're not going to make it all the way through, so for next section, we'll definitely pull the. I remember there being a rule about that.
Yeah, because it is.
We'll pull it.
It was a meeting of the minds.
Yeah. It's
there was an agreement.
It's one of the exceptions to the statute of frauds, for sure.
Right. Consideration was given. Definitely talk about it next episode.
Special rule for marriage. I remember it. I feel like it was in family law.
I never took that class, so I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm passing down like communication from like, people, like once you get engaged and like fiance to fiance type of lessons, like, hey, if you don't go through with it, you got to give the ring back just because you proposed to me. So I feel like I know this maybe just from word of mouth.
But okay, we'll look into it. But I feel like I do remember.
Okay, well, but before you push play,
he's definitely getting brownie points in the spa right now for giving that ring. Though, look at him. He's got that. Look at that cheese on his face.
Before you push play, I just wanted to make it very clear that I would expect a bigger ring than the former spouse. Like, my ring better look
Yeah, that's
better.
what I was getting to.
Okay.
Sure. I think that I would want that too.
So we got to find Jason's spouse and check out her ring.
I would want the family heirloom that the first spouse didn't get. It'd be like, kind of like the Last Crusade, or right, with Sean Connery, where the chalice is like made of wood, not the really like bedazzled one. That's the Fountain of Youth. Remember? So that's the one you'd really want.
I always laugh because you always think I know movies or even remember
Indiana
movies.
Jones
You're such a movie buff.
Yeah.
I feel like, didn't that come out when we were younger?
Yeah. for sure. When we were kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Got to be like 92 or 93.
Well, yeah, and they're about the age
those
of
would
us.
be what I would take. I would either take must be a bigger ring, or it must have more sentimental value. But either way, it needs more value.
You're so sweet.
I know. I'm a sympathetic second wife.
It's really nice because I don't have my mom around telling me that I'm doing something wrong.
Do you pick it by yourself?
For 2 seconds.
She give you ideas.
I picked it.
You picked it?
Myself.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I gave him ideas.
Later.
Yeah, for sure.
Initially, this was all me.
I didn't give you ideas.
So
No.
I gave you the ring.
I pried it out of you in
put it on your
conversation.
left hand.
I got a sense.
You liked it there.
I wasn't thirsty.
I watched a lot of movies with you, and I got a sense by watching those.
Didn't propose.
You're so smart.
Unfortunately, I wasn't in a position.
Right now, I think it can only be on my right. Is that okay?
Sure. I have a surprise for Angelica. I'm really excited to show
I think that's the correct answer legally. For him to demand that she put it on her left hand would be like...
Wait, we gotta push pause. I want to hear it.
Pushing the bigamy here.
And she didn't even say
Polygamy. Isn't it? Bigamy.
Polygamy.
Polygamy.
But what is bigamy? What's the difference between
I thought
bigamy
that
and
was marrying
polygamy?
when you were already married. Polygamy is something that's authorized in the state, like to be married to multiple people.
Yeah, bigamy is illegal. Polygamy may be legal. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Let's look it up.
I'm gonna let this play.
Oh, bigamy is where two. So polygamy, the spouses are aware of each other, and you have more than one marriage.
It's like a consenting multiple marriage.
Bigamy is when you get. So he would have been in bigamy because they would have been unaware of each other.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the bigamist is the one. Because that's one of the ones that you can invalidate your marriage for, like within that time period, the annulment period.
Yeah. Well, I could just tell Angelica's sense of relationships are a little messed up because even here she's like, oh, I know you're married, but I'm not going to take it as far as put the ring on my left hand. I'm going to put it on my right hand, so it's okay.
Right? She makes stands.
There's a line here. She's not going to cross the line and put it on her left hand.
She can't make the line too high, though, because she probably doesn't have a lot of competition out there. You know, no hating on Angelica, but she seems like she's excited for Jason. She seems like there haven't been a lot of Jasons before this Jason, if you know what I mean.
Well, my favorite part of that whole scene was the fact that whole conversation
That's
took
when he
place.
snatches them all up.
Well, it took place at the nail shop in front of people. So, like, the people are like, "Oh, that's a pretty ring," and then all of a sudden they're like,
on that hand? Though? Then they go on the left hand, and Jason's like, "That's what I've been saying. She won't put it over there."
I wish
you think
she'd
she brought it up.
I'm almost wondering if she told them to bring it up just so she could have the conversation with them.
I'm wondering how much more of that conversation they had that was edited out. Like if the other people know why they were having that little talk about, well, we put it on this hand? Is it okay if I don't?
Well, all I have to say is I wish you would go to the nail shop with me. People have their spouses and boyfriends in there all the time.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Ready? You need to go.
Pandemic has taken over my nail game.
Goodbye. It's been happening a lot lately. I'll check the location share on my phone just to see where she's at. Usually Angelica's always at Jason's house, but today it's showing that she's at a nail salon. Angelica and I get our nails done together, and I'm wondering.
Is she tracking her phone or her car?
Her location from the iPhone. They have iPhones.
Until she comes back to me.
I bet they share locations.
Oh man.
Like walk in her room and I just lick her all up.
I love it when my mama licks me, and it kind of makes me feel closer to her.
A boy does it. I know I feel closer to anyone that licks me, that's for sure.
Not we.
I like that we get to see Frank. I want to hear Frank's perspective on all
Can you
this.
push pause on this real quick for me?
Yeah.
So,
They can't hear any of that. We're just...
Okay. Are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking.
Oh, cool. Well, I was just going to say that the mom, looking at her location, just like further confirms my suspicion. They have like a weird, twisted, like sense of like of a healthy relationship. Like it is in somewhat type of a sexual attraction type relationship, because the only time I've ever heard of someone sharing each other's location and then following the person to go check it out because something seems suspicious is in a boyfriend and girlfriend scenario.
You don't think that she's just worried about her safety?
No, you do that to your children when they're like 13, 8,
Yeah,
if they have
you're
cell
worried about their
phones.
safety.
Yeah, but Sunhee's like Angelica is 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I would expect someone to be tracking her like that would be like a boy. I mean, it'd be a really bad relationship. It's still not healthy, but like a significant other.
Who's worried about her a whole lot?
I don't know. I had a friend whose significant other tracked her.
Story time.
They broke up.
Oh, it didn't work out?
No, it didn't work out. It didn't go so well.
She must have been safe whenever he showed up.
Yeah, it didn't go so well. Let's see how this one goes.
I mean, I think it's odd that they're continuing
so there's more. There's another smother in town.
I'm Marsha. I'm 68 years young, and I'm Elena's mom. My relationship with her is unique.
Marsha and Elena.
Hey, puppy.
She's licking her like a dog.
In her room, and I just lick her all up.
I mean, I think that's just how she likes to wake up.
My mom is definitely my best friend. I love it when my mama licks me. And it kind of makes me feel closer to her because we're doing something funny and out of the
I think they told her
ordinary.
she was little whenever she got her.
You know, she kept asking me for a puppy, and I couldn't get a puppy, so I turned into the doggy.
That's why she licks her.
I told you it was like a
and
dog.
she admitted to it? Jeez.
Sweet. I
And she
just
even
wanna
keeps
eat
little
her all up.
puppy things around her?
Can I ask you a question?
No,
So,
can't.
As
I'm too
she's
busy
growing
loving
up,
this licking.
even
This is
being
wonderful.
able to do all those silly
Now,
things, you know,
I wonder if there's a thing. We should look this up too next time.
How
but
old do you think she is?
Huh?
How old do you think she is?
Well, we heard I think she was in her early 60s. I wrote 60
daughter.
plus. 21. She's 21.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, we probably need to look this up for next time just to chat about it. But one thing that I want to know is like, some people have like sensations with their tongues, right? Like mouth, like stimulation. Like maybe the licking is not just like, yeah, like I'm a little puppy, but maybe like 'cause she was talking about the flavors and the taste. Like that was kind of odd. Like to be.
Which flavors was she talking about? Maybe I missed that part.
Yeah, I think we should go back.
Let's roll it back.
I mean, seriously, she's talking about
This part?
Yeah, let's listen to that again.
a puppy, and I couldn't get a puppy, so I turned into the doggy. I want to taste really good and sweet. I just want to eat it all up.
Oh, I bet it's the pheromones, the hormones and stuff like that. That's a legit thing. Like when babies, you want to eat babies up. They're like legit trigger something.
Oh, I know. Like when little
Like you
babies.
say that, you know, you're literally kind of wanting to consume like their cuteness and stuff.
I really do. I say I want to eat those thighs. Like when the fat rolls, baby little fat rolls.
I'm gonna get you.
No.
This could turn into a horror movie really fast. That's why I'm wondering, do you remember that Eastern European lady who got
She didn't have
adopted?
much stamina, so I would say, "You can't get me. You can't get me."
So let's pause here because I want to talk about that.
I know who could play the new
story.
Leprechaun. Hey,
that was not appropriate language.
What? She's not a little person, but she could definitely play little person parts. I think that there's a point in getting them more work.
Well, so clearly, and she doesn't even say Elena. It's Alana, or is it Elena? Alana.
We'll hear her say it some more.
Clearly, Elena has some type of growth.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Matter going on. Because she said she was 21, and she looks more like she's probably
I think we'll get some details. She was just 12. Explaining how she doesn't have energy, and that's how they came up with the chase game. So I think she's going to explain.
But what were you talking about? So there was
a girl in Eastern Europe. I think she was maybe Russian or Ukrainian, and had fled, and she was an orphan who was adopted. They thought she was like 12 years old when
she's
she was
adopted by American family.
I think they may have been European, like British or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And they adopt her, and they start noticing weird things, and they don't know what's going on. They start to be scared of her, kind of worried that she's gonna hurt them or something like that.
So she's having like violent outbursts and things like that.
No, she's just saying weird stuff and stuff that's making them say, stuff you see in a horror movie where you're like, I don't know what's going on with this kid right now. But it's not a 12-year-old. Those aren't normal 12-year-old thoughts. They're not saying, I want to play with the ball, I want to go run. She's saying, like, the next time I catch you slipping type stuff, And it turned out she was like, 28 years old when they thought she was 12. And she had some type of growth, like, disorder or something that made her look like she was a little kid when she was old. So that's why I was saying maybe she's Eastern European or something.
That's the business. Like to have like free care your whole life by just being able to say you're younger than what you are.
Not like threaten people because you're tired of being treated like a kid. Yeah. I think at a certain point you're like, it's nice to get taken care of all the time, but sometimes people can be pretty condescending.
I feel like I would have to be 16.
Asking me if I want cereal. If I want to be picked up. If they can touch my head. Stuff like that. It's just frustrating. I bet it's the same complaints that little people have. That's why I made the Leprechaun joke. It'd be all the same issues if you had that growth aging disorder.
Right.
Let's let him play through. Let's see what it is.
I don't think people know or understand the plight of little people as much as we probably should. Yeah, keep going.
To help her grow motor, and it just continues.
Sounds like she gets frustrated because she won't. I think you should let her catch her. Sometimes I think mom's just showing off.
They do that every day, every single day.
I mean, put the brakes on, Ma. You can't.
I wonder what is wrong with her. She's like, "You're 21. You're 21. Why are you doing that? Why don't you act like you're 21? I want to get you."
Yeah, drink a bunch of alcohol or something. I bet she could put down tons of booze.
And I kiss her all up.
Did you have a good sleep?
Doesn't the mom look uncomfortable?
Yes, she's very kissable.
I know, right?
Mom's like pushing her off, like
kind of hypocritical. After all the tonguing that was going on.
Okay. Having my mama help me pick out my clothes lets me be able to bond with her, but also I feel cared for. What about this side? But I can't reach
little person caring for her.
It's great as a mom to feel needed by her.
Do you like that?
It's kind of sweet.
That's nice.
So she does have the disorder that Middle Eastern girl had, or the Eastern European girl had.
It's crazy how our faces look alike. We even talk like each other.
They really do look alike.
Just from the shoulders up.
Come on in.
So when people find out that I'm adopted, people are like, no.
I would have never guessed she was adopted.
I know.
I wasn't able to conceive, and I just wanted a child so much that I began an adoption process. It was one thing.
Hers is the most normal story of anybody's.
Important to complete my life, and
you know what I mean?
wanted a little girl. I decided that I was going.
Well,
to
like, are you saying it's normal because like she clearly wanted a baby really bad because she adopted a baby. Is that why it seems like the most normal story, or what is it?
I think that I'm going to let this play through real quick, and I'm going to take care of this.
So I went all the way to Siberia to find my true love.
At the orphanage, I used to crawl out of the cribs at night looking for someone like to hug me or to be there for me. And so I was very anxious because I didn't have someone special.
When I got off the plane, we went right to the orphanage, and all of a sudden I hear mama, mama, and I look down, and there's this little thing. She was like so incredible.
And I remember me hugging her so tight because I didn't want to lose her.
Okay, if she called her mama and mama immediately, she was probably calling everybody mama. That's really sad. She said she got there and she heard the little girl calling her mama, mama. Like, she was probably calling everybody mama, mama.
You think so? Really making her story feel a lot special. What was the mom's name? Did you catch that one? Marsha. You think that's what she thought she was yelling? Marsha was walking through there and she heard Marsha, and just catches her ear. Because you're right. Surely that's not the first time she had ever said that in there. It could be. I think it'd be more magical if the girl's first words were mama when Marsha was walking through the facility. I think that'd be pretty magical.
Either way, Marsha you could tell she's a good person because who travels halfway across the world for a child? You know, you really want a child. Right?
And it's not one of those deals where you just send 10 cents a month over there to the kid. Right. She brought her home and started licking her.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day since then.
A real mama should.
Like a mama bear, mama doggy, I guess.
Yeah, all mama mammals, really. Haired, four-legged mammals, mostly.
I guess, but so she's probably thinking, what's wrong with us? We're mammals.
She wanted a dog. I mean, I think it is.
For the better, and she saved my life. I had MPS 6.
MPS 6.
Mucopolysaccharidosis.
Okay, everybody write that one down, because we were worried we weren't going to be able to catch that and write that down. We were going to check that out. I'd be curious to see if that's the same diagnosis that girl from Eastern Europe had.
We have to look up that
We'll
story.
investigate for next part 2.
And it's an enzyme deficiency, and I receive an enzyme replacement therapy every week. If I didn't have my weekly infusions, I would die slowly in a painful death.
Whoa, that was heavy. And they're laughing about it.
The most important lesson my mama has always taught me was to live life to the fullest, and she always said to go for my dreams. That's definitely the reason why my mama encourages me to sing. Singing is very important to me because music is a way that you can show the world that no matter what, you can defeat all odds and you can be you.
Can you sing anything for me?
A few weeks ago, I had vocal surgery, so I can't say anything quite yet, but I could actually play a song I wrote.
She's ready.
She's a recording artist. This is a really ironic song.
I'm trying.
Because you know she ain't driving down the highway.
No spoilers, no spoilers.
I mean, I don't think any spoilers.
Oh, I just got a shout.
Are there things you don't?
If there's anyone out there that thinks she is driving right now.
Because Elena thinks that I'm the chef and she's visiting the restaurant.
That's me and you.
You cook amazing.
Right.
I did it again.
That's what I say.
Okay, I'm having bad luck. I like when you cook.
Yeah, I know you do. It's very nice. I like when somebody cooks too. I try to get her to cook, but she will, get you to do whatever because she likes to just sit there and be waited on. When you're home or you're
I think
on
the
your
daughter's...
own, you can do a lot of this stuff.
Sounds like her husband. Like it would be like a spouse relationship.
It's not so scary.
I think that she treats. I think that.
I'm sorry, we gotta look at where you have it paused.
I know, I tried to
That
pause
is
it.
why she is scared to cook. I do not think it's supposed to look like that.
She keeps saying everything's cool all the time for her, then making it really terrifying for her. You know?
Everything's okay. Burst down the flames.
She treats her like an adult.
Well, she is 21.
I know, but I feel like she treated her like a baby for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, when she needed to grow up, the mom treated her like an adult.
I mean, but isn't that everybody? Like, I was treated like a baby for a really long time.
How long did your mom lick you?
How
old were you the last time your mom licked you?
If there's even an actual answer to that question, me and my mom have a lot of talking to do. But can we go back to one thing that got clarified that we were kind of asking questions and speculating about? So she actually isn't a little person. She has an enzyme deficiency, which I feel like is very different than MPS 6. Mm-hmm. And so maybe her mom took care of her for so long because I feel like that's more of being sick than just being a little person, right? So her mom probably had to care for her, do special things for her. And so maybe that's how this
I think what I
smothering
was
evolved.
trying to point out was more of she seems a little traumatized because of how fast her mom seems to have transitioned from the intense caretaking to you need to be independent.
It was very rapid. It wasn't like over a period of time like parents do when you're growing up and they're preparing you for adulthood. This seems like she kind of pulled the rug from underneath her.
That's the vibe that she's giving off. Like it seems like it's abrupt. Maybe she's just being dramatic, but I feel like it's pretty legit.
I just want her to get rid of those papers in her hand next to that flame, or we're gonna have a bigger problem.
No, I think she's fine. Her mom's got it all under control. Let's see. Marsha, what do you think?
Well, that was not a good idea.
What's the daughter's name again?
Angelica.
No, that's the
other
one.
Elena.
I do depend on her.
Put me in the oven.
Help me. So it's kind of a bonding relationship when I get doted on.
Here comes the airplane.
Start coming on this one out.
See, I feel like sometimes she's like, be an adult, and then she does this to her daughter.
But did you hear who demanded it?
Yeah.
Wants to keep her close.
It's the daughter.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not in her best
That's what she
interest,
says.
and that I have to let her go.
Kind of makes you think
I feel really
who's
conflicted about it
smothering who
because
here.
I'm not ready. And I'm
I
not
don't think
sure
I have
when
very
it's
many
ready
questions
either.
about that.
I love you.
And I love you too.
But I feel like hers may be more healthier.
So you tell me that the daughter's making this mother do this to her?
Yeah, I mean, she just said, I love bonding when I get doted on. I'm wondering if the mother, like, to me, if I pulled a child from an orphanage, brought her halfway across the world, start raising her, I would feel guilty if I'm not doing everything she wanted. Like, for some reason, I just feel like her heart was so big. She gets a child. Like, I guess I understand the behavior here.
I mean...
And the daughter's still demanding it, and...
This is why we're not going to go pick up any kids from abroad.
No.
If you're just going to do everything they say, especially not any 21-year-old kids.
I can't... the problem is, like, I'm a yes person. Like, kids, I have no backbone. If they tell me to do something, I'll just say yes.
21 years old, as you said earlier.
Yeah, that's still kind of a child, right?
That child could throw a party at your house and buy all the alcohol for it.
That's true.
But she seems affectionate. I bet she doesn't drink much. Brittany and Mary again.
So we've seen 3 families so far. Brittany and Mary, Angelica and Sunhee, and now Marsha and Lena. So we're back to Brittany and Mary.
Yep.
So were you busy this morning?
Yes.
Oh, we get to see Frank.
Everybody's asking him, where's your lovely wife?
Oh, really?
Of course.
Oh my gosh, look at the wall.
And I actually bought a business together. He's a tailor by trade. So we work together.
What does she do?
I feel that Mary is an angel from God.
Oh.
Like, there's a scene in The Mask when Cameron Diaz comes in and she does this thing. That's what I see with Mary. Every time, she just absolutely floors me.
There's just
The best 2 days
something
of my
about
life, I would have
Mary.
to say, was our
Also starring
engagement
Cameron
party,
Diaz.
and also the wedding was just phenomenal.
Can you push pause there?
Can I talk to you about graduation? I really just want you to make her feel like she's special for this party.
So there was a couple of things all within like
Frank's
Frank's.
good freeze frame on Frank here.
Yeah, like there were a couple things all within Frank's statements, and it's interesting because both Frank and the daughter, Brittany, talk in the same kind of manner about Mary. And first of all, angel from God, why aren't you talking to me like that?
I haven't been in the doghouse for 20 years or whatever Frank's got going on. He's trying to dig out of right now.
Angel from God?
My wife, she's the most beautiful, amazing thing on this planet. Never done anything wrong. I am a dog. Worst person in the world. Can't be anything worse. I mean, she's an angel from heaven.
And that's funny. On top of that, I would never thought I would hear Angel from God in a Drew Carey movie in the same sentence. Like, I think he's with her because he thinks she looks... I mean, I could see how she could kind of look like Cameron Diaz from back in the day.
Jim Carrey. I was thinking...
Did I say Jim Carrey? I hope I said Jim Carrey.
Drew Carey.
Oh, I meant Jim Carrey. Like a Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. Angel from God and Jim Carrey movies didn't really go hand in hand to me. I guess didn't he play God? He played God.
Oh.
He did.
Morgan Freeman technically played God, but he got to do it. Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty.
He got to do it for a minute.
Maybe those things do go hand in hand.
So Jim Carrey is God. We've solved that. I think Frank is very religious. I think that's clear based on his jewelry. And he wears it very proudly. He makes sure he keeps at least 3 buttons unbuttoned at all times.
Yeah. And he married the Virgin Mary, who happened to have a mysterious daughter.
A son that was born.
It doesn't have to be a son, right? Like
it doesn't have to be.
Okay, well then I have another question about Frank. Or not really about Frank. The shop that they bought together.
Yeah, the tailor shop that Frank is a tailor at and Mary just floats around.
Did you happen to notice the decor?
The pictures of them?
Yeah, it was
when
just...
they were like young, the only pictures?
No, it was just their wedding pictures. And then he said, the happiest 2 days of my life, or it was my engagement party. And my, and our wedding day. And those are probably the pictures on the wall.
That was when his life ended, according to him.
Do you think those are his favorite days, or the days Mary told him was his favorite days?
I think those were the last happy days of his life.
She deserved this.
Your little baby's grown. We gotta sit down and talk and see how she's gonna handle things and how much help she might need from us.
He seems so stressed.
You know, the relationship between Mary
She
and
seems
Brittany,
not stressed at all.
there's just times it's a little much.
Well, he's working.
She loves Mom. She's always with
She's
Mom.
working,
Calls
yeah.
her.
She's at the
Hey, Mom, what do
office.
you think I should eat? And I'm like, okay, Mom has your appetite and she's gonna give you an answer. Great. Now that Brittany's graduating, it would be
Good point,
great
Frank.
for Brittany to unleash from Mom, get out of the baby's crib, and get into the adult world.
That's reasonable.
Right?
Hi, baby. How
She's
are you?
So
sleeping
she's
in the
graduating
crib?
from high
She
school.
must be sleeping in the crib still.
I have good news for you.
What?
So I got an 84 on my test. That was my last test.
Okay.
And now I just have to look forward to graduation.
I wonder what the minimum passing score for police is.
Party
Is it
I'm
like
so excited.
70?
So we're just having a
I think they were talking about high school graduation. Like, I think she got an 84 on her high school graduation test. But I did like what Frank said, because I'll be honest, like I had mentioned earlier, and we can, kind of talk about it if we want a little bit later, but I have kind of somewhat of a really smothering. Both my parents are a little bit of smothers, and my dad used to say, cut the umbilical cord.
Really? So you've heard that one before?
I heard that phrase. So, I mean, I get what Frank's saying. I thought that was a very polite way and a very respectful Christian way to say it.
That's the second...
Get your ass out the house.
second smothered daughter that you've related to.
In a sense, yes.
Angelica and our girl here, Brittany.
So back to kind of what you were saying about the communicator and the love and the evolution of kind of how the mother-child relationship formed. I think a lot of that, we probably all could relate to it a little bit. Maybe me more so than others, because my mom played that. That was the main role my mom had, and she definitely was a hen to her baby chicks. So I definitely can relate. I would call my mom to ask what I should eat. I mean, I didn't know how to cook in high school. I was like, Elena, I didn't know how to cook. So when I went to college, I mean, and even now, you hear me, I have to call my mom. Do you remember when we first got married and my mom had to come over to make chicken? Like she was cooking she was cleaning the chicken for us and she was showing me how to cook. Mm-hmm. I mean, so in some ways I relate to this. My mom had to come over as a married woman to my house and show me how to clean or how to cook.
Yes, so it's all perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, it's all perfectly normal.
Let's see what Brittany has to say about Frank.
Conversation, me and Mom, about going to feel tomorrow.
I don't think the mom knew he was going to talk about this.
And I'm curious to know, what's your next step?
Getting out of the crib?
I want to stay with Mom a little longer.
For the rest of my life, based on those eyes.
Okay.
Mom was like,
because we kind of wanted you to move out.
You wanted to
Oh.
I think she just sold him down the river.
Yeah, she did.
If I was to rate who comes first, obviously my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Brittany, my other two children, and then Frank.
How about you move out?
Wait.
Whoa, she just totally flipped the tables on him. She's like, you know what? I think you should move out and me and Mom should just do our thing for the rest of our life.
Who's married to who?
He told me 5 months, so you can't stay here. Come and stay by my house. Carlo is
Who are these two? We haven't even got to meet them yet.
I just think this is a very bad idea. We're on a date. I don't know what she's doing.
That'll be next time. We're getting previews for next time.
Oh, okay.
We're going to cut it off here at the halfway point, but
since you're here,
hang on. We'll get through this preview.
So there was one thing that I caught in that last scene we were watching for this episode. Did you hear Mary say other two children?
I did hear that. I was kind of wondering about that.
I'm assuming they're older than Brittany.
I mean, I guess maybe they could be the kids. Maybe they could be Frank and her kids.
No, they just got married, and
how long ago did they say?
But it looked fairly recent. If you look at the pictures that were
I
on
don't
the
know
wall.
if that's the case. They put some miles on those faces. those pictures were from at least 10 years ago.
I don't know. I want to know where the other two kids are. I always want to know what siblings, the relationship the other siblings have, and if it's not the same kind of relationship, what do they think of the relationship? You know, like, it's one thing to be an only child like Elena and Marcia and to have nobody else around influencing the relationship. It's another thing to have siblings.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't care about it too much, or they probably would have been involved in the show or made comments.
Yeah, so now that we're here and we're kind of towards the end of the episode and we haven't talked about our personal yet, I think that's
We're
great...
at the halfway point.
Oh, okay. Well,
we're going to have to cut this episode in half and come back next time.
Okay, well, that's good.
That's fine, yeah.
That's fine. Well, but I felt like that was a good segue into the fact that you were the only child and I had siblings.
Yep.
I feel like that affected the dynamic of parenting and really my smothering experience.
Yeah, how do you think it influenced your smothering experience?
Well, there was definitely more competition for attention.
Yeah.
And the time that we spent with
like
our
wanted
parents.
to be smothered.
Exactly. There was more seeking out the smothering, and the time that we spent with our like the time I spent with my mother one-on-one was very valuable, and she really made an effort to make me feel special. So maybe I really wasn't smothered.
Well, you probably didn't feel smothered until everybody else was out of the house and you were the one that was still there all the time.
Yeah, being doted over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was like all the attention you'd been wanting that whole time.
Yeah.
And you finally got it.
Can I tell
you
you?
moved into the house, and it was like you were an only child again. Because
Yeah.
you and Milton was there. Little bro.
Well, can I tell you a funny story? Actually, when nobody was there, it was just me living there. So, my first year in law school, I moved back in because I was going to law school in the same city as my parents lived.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured I'd save money. It'd be great. I have this whole like upstairs to myself. You know, I can study, get through this first year. And I remember being home, and I would have to hide in my closet just to study because my mom would come looking for me, and she wanted to hang out, and she wanted to do stuff because I was the only person home.
No bath water.
No shower or baths, but it
Okay.
was definitely a lot of attention, and she definitely wanted to have what you were talking about, like communication and hanging out, and she didn't quite understand that, you know, when you're my first year, most of my time was devoted to my studies, and so that was probably the one time I didn't want the attention from her. What about you? You asked me, how was your relationship with your mother? Because you were the only child.
I mean, I don't think I was smothered. I think I was given plenty of space. So I don't really particularly have a smothered experience. I think that I think that as we go on, there might be more stuff that brings it out of me and things that you'll notice. And if you do notice anything, please comment because I might not notice as well.
I know. Are we allowed to share personal stories about each other that we're aware of?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
We got our baby Sugar in the room right now. She's invading. We're about time's up, but if there's anything you can think of, let me know.
He's like, you didn't want me to tell your story.
No, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and say it. But we're almost out of time.
The very first story I heard about you that I thought was a little smotherish, and I think would only happen if you're an only child, was when you went to college, and your mom told me you went to college about 2 hours away from home. Would you say about 2 hours away from home? And your mom told me that she would come on the weekends and pick up your laundry, drive it all the way back home, fold it, or wash it, fold it, and then drive it all the way back up there to you.
I think you're just being jealous right now. I don't think that's a story of a smother.
So she could be close to you. That was her motivation.
But I think that if I would have asked her to not do that, she would have.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
That's why I'm saying it's not a smotherer.
Okay. We'll let the audience decide.
Yeah, please comment if you think that it is. I'd love to hear the arguments. We'll comment and we'll talk about it next time.
There's no arguments, just an opinion.
And discussion.
You're already defensive about it.
Just a little. But thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll finish it up next time. I'm Carter.
I'm Sharity.
And we'll talk to y'all next time.
Thank you.